Okay then, hello everyone, welcome to the WRL here at Monza for the pre-season test. My name is Zokyo, nice to have you all along. First time working with these guys, so going to be an interesting project. The Group 4 cars here at Monza. Going to be interesting to see how it goes. Fantastic diversity of entries as well. Hello to Dredge and Erebus and Mythical in the chat. Nice for you guys to be tagging along with me already. Just going to do a quick audio check. Yep, audio is working just fine. Yep, so cars currently going through their 10-minute qualification period, which will be followed by a 14-minute race. Going to be interesting to see who comes out on top. The Ferrari team looking quite strong. They're currently leading the pack out in qualifying as they are making their way through the Ascari chicane and about to go onto their lap once they reach the end of the straight and through the Parabolica. So for the first lap of the circuit, we're going to go on board with Leonard for this lap of the historic Monza circuit. So coming across the start-finish line now to break the timing beam. It is quite a long run into the very tight chicane at turn 1. Gotta find your braking zone just after the merge line, or the line on the ground anyway, as he runs a little bit wide and into the gravel after the chicane, making their way through Curva Grande now. See the kind of speeds that these Group 4 cars are able to get up to. It would seem that there's been a bit of an incident between Heisenberger and Rappi in the middle of this qualifying session, but Leonard at the moment, despite that slight mishap at the chicane, doing a decent job at the moment. They've broken away from everyone else in the session, now going through Lesmo 1. Car running traction control, interestingly enough, helping with the stability. Through Lesmo 2 and on to one of the many straights we have here. Under the bridge and now heading up towards the braking zone for the Ascari chicane. All about rhythm through here and avoiding the anti-cuts, of course. They can lead to understeer. Nicely done by Leonard there. And now the run down the straight towards the Parabolica hairpin, or Parabolica curve rather. All about how early you can get on the throttle while staying on the circuit so you can maximize your run on the next straight. We're about to see what time is going to get as he breaks the timing beam. It's a 1:59.547. Got Moreau, who's got a penalty of 1 second. They're going to come across the line. That's 2:04 for them. 2:03 for Ivaslov. Hobbsy with a 1:59.0. They go top of the timing sheet, with Rappi going second with a 1:59.123. Several of the cars, probably with damage, I'd imagine, going into pits. Or perhaps just a tyre change. Maurice there with a 2:06.9. So the faster times are sub 2 minutes, it would seem. At the moment that would seem to be the competitive pace of the field. It wouldn't surprise me if we get into the 1:58s, and as soon as I say that, Quad goes into the pole position provisionally with a 1:58.266. That's a fantastic time by the Dutchman. Hobbsy, they were in the repechage race, if I recall, just a while ago today. They were the winners in that, so it's going to be interesting to see how they stack up. Will there be any improvements from anyone? We're going to have to see. There is Rappi the Pro. You may recognize them from the Dynamic Racing League in the Italian liveried Bugatti. Very rare I actually see the Bugatti Group 4 these days, so nice to see it make an appearance. There's a bit of an overtake going on there as Liner goes into the pits, no doubt for a fresh set of tyres. The tyre wear is quite heavy, I believe it's ×9. Alright, some cars about to come across the line. Will we see any improvements? It's a 159 from Ivaslav, 158, and a 157 there from 18 Ghost. So improvements from 3 of the drivers so far. That's a fantastic time by 18 Ghost into the 157s, the mid 157s at that. And Heisenberger only 22 thousandths slower with a 157.539. They're extremely close at the top of the standings. Tazio with a 158.4, Maurice with a 158.8. Hello to Swablu in chat as well, nice to have you tagging along. As there's a bit of traffic up ahead for these guys in the qualifying session. It's Ivaslav in the yellow Ferrari slowing down, and Rappi in the Bugatti as well going quite slowly. It wouldn't surprise me if they're changing their tyres, or saving their tyres rather. Quad probably just... actually they wouldn't have changed their tyres there, they must have just had damage or something leaving the pits, but their tyres are quite worn already. So Heisenberger not on a lap at the moment because of being held up. Quad just making their way around the circuit. Tazio, good performance by them so far in the Alfa Romeo. And Maurice as well. There you see them in the Lamborghini Huracan, closely followed by, I think that's Hobbsy in the McLaren. Oh no, maybe it's Hobbsy's teammate. Similar liveries anyway. Moreau improves their time, that's a 201.3. Still not at the sharp end of the field, but nevertheless an improvement from them. There's still a little bit of time left in the session, I believe. Yep. Minute and 20 seconds on the clock, so this will be everyone's last attempt. It's going to be an interesting shootout between the two Italians at their home circuit. Real Scorpions improves to a 2:06. Still not sub 2 minutes just yet. Quad will just about manage to get onto their final lap. Going to be interesting to see what the Dutchmen can do. They were top of the timing sheets earlier on. Tazio as well in the Alfa Romeo. Going to be interesting to see, although they look like they may have paused because their hazard lights are on. Going through some of the cars here. Fantastic scenes. The yellow Ferrari of Ivaslav getting out of the way, it would seem. Perhaps everyone's just trying to fight for slipstream as Hobbsy thinks about making a move on 18 Ghost. 18 Ghost with a penalty, so the likelihood of them improving their time in the qualifying session, not that likely. I think Heisenberger was caught up in a smidge of traffic. Nevertheless, they're about to come up to the line. Will we see any further improvements as the session draws to a close? It's going to be close. He serves the penalty on the line, and it's not an improvement from A-Team Ghost. What about Heisenberger? What can they do? It's not going to be enough, as the tyres on the Bugatti are absolutely shot. Quad still making their way around the circuit. Tazio has an okay shot, I think, or no, rather, since I've just checked their time on there. Maurice on an outlap, so they've not timed that particularly well. 159 by Rappy the Pro, not better than their personal best. So it's all going to come down to Quad, although it looks like they've paused and they're lagging a bit. So I think this might be the provisional order. Here are your times on the timing sheet then, as you see A-Team Ghost with a 157.517, just pipping Heisenberger with their 157.539, just 22,000 separating the two Italians, with Quad, who we're seeing in the Huracan, the next further back, although 7/10 down on the pair. And there are your standings. So we're about to get the race underway, as for some reason it has decided to kick me out of spectate mode. So it's going to be a rolling start, it would seem. Yep, there we go, everything seems to be back on board. A-Team goes with a fantastic lap time. About to see if they can convert that to the win. 14 laps separating him from victory. Nice to see 8 viewers on stream. Considering this channel is brand new, with it being a brand account and such, it's fantastic to see, as it is 3, 2, 1 and green, green, green. The cars are off, as the phrase goes. It's going to be a slipstream battle into turn 1. A-Team Ghost tries to break the slipstream of the Bugatti of Heisenberger behind. As it looks like everyone making their way through quite safely at the minute. Oh, bit of a twitch. I think that was Hobbsy. As that's one of the Ferraris on the grass as well. That's Leinard. They're going side by side up through Curva Grande, a bit further back as well. Their teammate, I think that's Colin Flake, that might be their teammate. Also going side by side, 2 by 2. Still up in the lead, A-Team Ghost doing a very good job, as Hobbsy has to slot in. As that was Ivor Slob going around the outside, it would seem. Although Colin Flake still looking to see if he can challenge, fit the nose of the McLaren down the inside. Doesn't work out, having to just slot back in again. As that is Quad making their way up into second in the race, and Heisenberger is falling down the order. What has happened to Heisenberger? They haven't got mechanical damage, so they're just falling back temporarily. Perhaps a mistake at Lesmo 2, affecting their run on the following straight. There's all the extra info there. And it's still going to be A-Team Ghost leading them off into the distance, as we're now watching Tazio and Maurice in a battle. I think Maurice made an overtake there on the Alfa Romeo. The Alfa will have the slipstream. Although slipstream not as effective in these Group 4 cars as they are in higher downforce machines, as one might imagine. It's very close for the lead now between A-Team Ghost and Quad. There's some overtaking a bit further back as well. Tazio managing to get up to 5th. And where on earth has Maurice is down to 9th, so Maurice made a mistake there, down to 9th. Quad getting close, the 2 Bugatti teammates as well. Sticking with them at the moment. Oh, someone cuts the chicane. I fear that's Tazio. And Tazio's now dropped down many positions because of that. So, the lead 4 have started to break away from the rest of the pack. It's Ferrari, Lamborghini, Bugatti. As they charge their way down towards the Ascari chicane for the second time of asking. That Lamborghini is looking like it's going to have a fantastic run out of here, nearly making the overtake mid-corner. Very risky stuff to be trying through the Ascari chicane, but he's got enough power to pull up alongside of the Ferrari. The Ferrari will try its best to defend the inside line.com. Side by side they go. Who's going to be later on the brakes? It would seem the Ferrari, but the Lamborghini manages to get the cutback and the Ferrari runs wide. And that has put Quad into the lead of the race. Now they won't have the slipstream. It would seem the Bugatti teammates are also swapping about a little bit. A-Team goes now back into the lead. What just happened to Quad? That was on the straight. That was odd. As one of them goes straight on, that was Rappy the Pro. Straight on at the chicane. Gets reset. They've lost a little bit of time from that as we see the rest of the cars making their way through. And Heisenberger gonna challenge for the lead down the inside of Curva Grande. Will he be able to get it done? He does, just about. Will the Ferrari make a challenge going into the second chicane? No, he has the outside line for that. So the Bugatti Veyron goes up into the lead of the race. It's Bugatti 1 and 3 at this stage. It's still very close between the top 4, it has to be said. Fantastic engine notes as well, very varied between these cars. As it looks like the second Bugatti might be thinking about a move. No, Rappy stays planted as that's Heisenberger just clipping the gravel a little bit. That might have an effect on their run. And indeed the Ferrari is really closing up in the slipstream. Goes to the outside. Now will the Ferrari be able to get it done on the brakes? Perhaps try the switchback the Lamborghini did a lap prior, and it's nearly 3 wide as they make their way down the back straight, or the main straight rather. Apologies for my confusion. Look at this, the 2 Bugattis using each other. Fantastic team play by them. They're gonna just about make their way up into, oh, and the Lamborghini straight on at the first chicane in the braking zone. Just seemed to get it completely wrong. I thought he was somehow made it 3 wide. Did, but he outbroke himself massively, and now it's Rappy the Pro up into the lead of the race. Heisenberger, who was our leader, down to 3rd, has lost a fair bit of ground. So we're going to see some of the battles a bit further back. Lionard catching up to the back of Quad. Making their way through the 2 Lesmos at the moment. Lights ablaze. Will anyone be able to make a move right down the straight? We're going to go on board with Hobbsy for a little bit on the run down towards the Ascari chicane. See what unfolds ahead of us. Pretty much single file through here, as you might imagine. being a chicane. Will the slipstream be able to make much of a difference? Not at the moment, although a bit further back we're seeing Maurice. Were they coming under a bit of pressure, or was that just Ivaslov putting themselves in the mirrors? That yellow Ferrari, he looked quite strong in the early stages of qualifying. Currently running 8th. Surprised they're not trying to slot into the slipstream a bit sooner. Here we see Tazio. They were doing really well in the early stage of the race. Now they've dropped back behind the very minty Porsche of Real Scorpions. And down the inside they go. That is clear abuse of track limits. And the game rightfully resets them down the order. Meanwhile, Rappy the Pro, living up to his name at the moment, he's leading the race. He's pulled away a bit of a gap, 1.7 seconds and increasing as the battle for second is on. That's Heisenberger making up the ground. Down the inside they go. There was contact, I think, between them and the Ferrari. And that was a very unsafe rejoin, in my opinion. We're gonna see if we can get a replay of what happened there. Here's the exterior cam. Was that contact? Yep, there it is. Into the gravel goes the Bugatti. Another rejoin. McLaren lucky to get through. No doubt the stewards will be looking into that one post-race. So it is still Rappy, as we're about to end lap 5, who is leading us off. The Ferrari being challenged by the Lamborghini Quad is coming back into this. Look how close the Lamborghini gets, almost shoving him off the circuit. I don't quite think there was contact there. Just seemed like the Ferrari had a bit too much speed and ran wide. Because that's Leinard into the pits, so the tyre wear starting to play its part. Heisenberger taking this opportunity to pit as well, get a bit of an undercut, see if he can get his way back towards the front. I'd imagine it is a one-stop race, so being 14 laps, you want to pit at the end of lap 7 for a conventional strategy. As Hobbsy is now up to 4th. As there you see a fantastic battle between Ivaslov and Maurice. Ivaslov getting his way up to 5th. Let's see how he did this, just on the brakes. No track limit abuse there. Fair play, that was a fantastic move. And side by side they still go. The Lamborghini on the outside, Ferrari to the inside. And it looks like the Ferrari has it just for now. The Lamborghini looking to get a better run, a better exit or something. See if he can find his way past. Heisenberger, there you just saw the Italian liveried Bugatti Veyron in the back of shot. They've rejoined behind Leinard in 8th. The gap has somewhat stabilized between Rappy and Quad, although Quad now will be not quite in slipstream range, but won't have anyone to really battle with for a while, so they'll be 100% focused on closing that gap rather than having the distraction of A-Team Ghost behind them, who's running wide again. I think the tyres on the Ferrari are just about shot. I think they might be coming into the pits this time round, and indeed they are. Not only will the tyres be shot, but it's a good opportunity to take the undercut strategy. Hobbsy in the pits as well. Where will they rejoin? They are very close with Heisenberger, and Heisenberger goes past. That is the power of the undercut, and Heisenberger now finds his way up to 3rd as he challenges down the inside of Leinard. Oh, look at the split. The gap's really coming down to the leaders as well, so the leaders are going to no doubt lose their lead by waiting this out, but they will have fresher tyres for the end of the race by extending this stint. It would seem that Quad has managed to catch the Bugatti of Rappi the Pro quite nicely as well. They're well within the slipstream range, so the Lamborghini driver doing a really good job at this stage. Rear wing cam at the moment on Rappi the Pro's Bugatti. About to head through the Ascari chicane. Look how much the Lamborghini closes up on the brakes. Fantastic stuff. Of course the Bugatti is quite heavy, so brakes not its strongest point. Definitely its speed advantage would be its strongest point, I would imagine. Again, I'm not too experienced with having seen it run in leagues and such. The gap between Heisenberger and the non-stoppers at this stage, 10 seconds. It was around 12 seconds at the start of the lap. Rappi and Quaj come into the pit, and this will no doubt mean that Heisenberger gets the lead. Oh, the Lamborghini leaving the pits. It's going to be close. Lamborghini overtakes the Bugatti of Rappi in the pits, and both of them emerge ahead of Heisenberger. So they only just managed to get it. They're stopping and return ahead. Meanwhile, that was Rappi. Oh wait, no, that's Heisenberger in the lead. Sorry. So Heisenberger did manage to make that work, and it was Rappi who was getting a little bit wrong on entry for the first chicane. So the undercut has paid off for Heisenberger. But now they will have tyres that will wear at a worse rate than the cars behind them, and there isn't much of a gap. Again, ×9 tyre wear, I believe. There you see Rappi just ducking and diving in the slipstream. Fantastic stop, by the way, by the Lamborghini crew to get them out ahead. Have a look a bit further down the order, see what has been going on. Slight penalty for a corner cut on the part of Hobbsy. A bit further down, Maurice making his way in the top 10 at the moment. He's currently 9th. It seemed Real Scorpion seemed to lose out a little bit. Maru is currently 3 seconds down on the car heading. Colin Flake not having the best of times at the moment. 17 seconds down on Moreau. As side by side for second they go between Quad and Rappi. Right up against the pit wall they go. The Lamborghini giving them the old Rosberg squeeze, not backing down. And the Lamborghini retains that second place, as Ivaslov, who I don't think has made that pit stop yet, goes into the pits and rejoins in 7th. It's going to be a fantastic finish of this. We're more than half of the race distance at this point. Lap 9 of 14. And it looks like the Bugatti has a bit of a look. And down the inside somehow goes Quad. That was a fantastic maneuver. Will Heisenberger be able to retaliate to that? Fantastic move by the Lamborghini. Let's see this one again, see it from an onboard. So I thought that it was going to be Rappi making the overtake, but look at that. Fantastic send from Quad, and that has put them up into the lead of the race. Now they have a 1 second gap, as the two Bugattis have swapped positions as well. So Heisenberger letting their teammate go and see if they can chase after. quad in their Lamborghini, perhaps accepting the fact that the strategy hasn't worked out for this stage of the race, that Rappi's tyres will be a fair bit fresher. And indeed, Rappi is in slipstream range. I'm surprised they're not gaining more on the straights in slipstream, to be fair. But the gap is coming down a bit. That Lamborghini is so quick in the corners, it would seem. A bit further back down the order, Iverslov, currently 6th. It's Tazio in 7th, so Tazio's made up a little bit of ground since we last saw them. Although they do have a corner cut penalty to serve. Down the straight they go. Slipstream will be in full effect, although you'd think the Ferrari would have the better straight line speed than the Alfa Romeo. Alfa Romeo definitely more of a handling car. Oh, look how much it closes up on the brakes again, although slightly wide, slightly twitchy as well. Tazio ends up losing out a bit of time from that. As that is real Scorpions and Maru as well. 2 Porsches. Porsche's not doing too well this particular race. Perhaps they'd be better suited to other circuits as well. Maurice, they were doing quite well in the early stages. The American now finds himself in 10th in a Lamborghini with their wipers on for whatever reason. Perhaps they are experiencing rain at that part of the circuit. And look how much Rappi has managed to close up to quad, so the slipstream has paid off. We're going to go for a rear wing cam as we just about see the Bugatti disappear on that side of shot. There it is on the left, and the Lamborghini just about manages to hold on to that. We still have 4 laps to go here at Monza. You can see the marbles building up on the exit of the corner as well. You run on those, no doubt you will understeer off. And the Bugatti draws alongside again. It's marked as ahead on the timing sheets at the moment. Will the Lamborghini be able to do something in the braking zone? They do indeed brake later, and they get the car stopped. Oh, just clipped the gravel very slightly, did Rappi there. Might compromise their exit a little bit, but they are definitely closing up. We're going to do a quick monitor of the tyre wear of these 2 cars. There you see it. So actually, the Lamborghini is a lot better on its tyres. No doubt the weight of the Bugatti has something to do with that. Also the bollard on the track there, I'm surprised that they're on yellow flags for that one. Send some marshals over there to move it. Although with how heavy they are, they'd probably need a crane or something. Making their way down the back straight again, down towards the Ascari chicane, just through the kink. Under the bridge, the Lamborghini swerving a bit, trying to break the toe. It's done a good job at the moment, but again, the Bugatti of Rappi the Pro, extremely close. And you gotta think that it's a case of when, not if, as once again the Bugatti draws alongside to the outside. Good defensive work by Quad to defend the inside there. And again, just about, the Lamborghini holds on, and that's Rappi running wide. The tyres have given up. And Heisenberger running wide as well. So the tyres are absolutely shot now, and you gotta think that the Lamborghini is going to have a bit of an easier time throughout the rest of this race. Just needs to hold them off on the straight, as that is Hobbsy coming in for a second stop. Oh, look how shot the tyres are on the McLaren. That's quite surprising. And again, look at that, 1.9 seconds the gap now. as Rappi must have made a mistake because Heisenberger is now up into the lead. Let's see what happened. Oh, contact between the two teammates, it would seem. And that caused a reset. No doubt there's going to be talks with the team post-race on this one about that. Because that has pretty much given away the victory to Quad, although there's still a little bit of a race to go, but Heisenberger with worse tyres. Well, I say worse tyres. Oh, he somehow managed to keep his tyres in far better shape than Rappi did. And even pitted a lap earlier as well, so Heisenberger doing very well on his tyres, has to be credited. So perhaps this isn't over just yet. Just needs to get within that slipstream range again and it can be close. Bugatti is naturally faster on the straights than the Lamborghini anyway, as I only just noticed 18 Ghost disconnected. Apologies for not noticing that sooner. So that was the Ferrari driver who was doing so well earlier on. Still at 5 viewers on the stream. Thanks for tuning into this as we make our way onto the penultimate lap here at Monza for the WRL test. So judging by that, no championship implications. It's just to see who we can expect to see towards the front, towards the middle. Get a good feel for what the race is going to be like for the rest of the season. Leonard has done a good job of finding the way up to 4th in that Ferrari. Perhaps would be eyeing up a podium if things went his way, as I think there was a... Yep, just caught that. Tazio making a move on Ivaslov. Let's see if we can quickly catch that again. So it was on exit. Ivaslov must have had the greatest of exits, and Tazio takes the inside line that was left open by Ivaslov and takes 6th place with it as well. As somehow Hobbsy has also managed to get past, so we're going to have another replay on that one shortly. So Ivaslov really not doing well at this stage of the race. How did this happen? Oh, contact between them and Tazio. So that's Tazio up to 5th. And then... Okay, so Hobbsy was ahead of Tazio before all of that. So it was Tazio up to 5th and Hobbsy down to 6th. So Ivaslov not changed position yet, although they might be able to now as they're down the inside. Brakes earlier for safety reasons, of course. I was going to see if he can get him on the following straight. Probably realizes that if you make an overtake through a Ascari, you're probably just going to get re-overtaken again on the straight. As our race leader is on the last lap of the race, and Heisenberger has only just managed to break into the slipstream. So it could be quite close. We're going to monitor the tyre situation again. The fuel warning light on the Lamborghini. The tyres a fair bit better, although the compounds are different. Racing hards for the Bugatti, racing softs for the Lamborghini. Will Quad be able to hold on? Oh, look at the backfire. Fantastic seeing that at this evening lighting. Okay, through chicane 2 and through Lesmos, it would seem Heisenberger is indeed catching at this point. But will it be enough? It's probably going to come down to who is the last of the late breakers going down into the Parabolica. Bit further back there you see Rappi. Think of what his race could have been. Still on the podium at the minute though. Leinard 4th, Hobbsy 5th. So Hobbsy managed to get back ahead of Tazio. Interesting to note. And that is second place. Heisenberger running wide at the Ascari chicane. It is all over for Heisenberger. Nothing he can do now as the Lamborghini makes its way through the Parabolica, and the two teammates swapping positions as well. Rappi getting ahead just as it is going to be Quad who takes the win here at Monza. Fantastic result for them. Fantastic defensive drive as well. It's going to be Rappi ahead of Heisenberger. Heisenberger not happy with that. Runs himself into the wall with frustration. Leinard can be quite happy with that fourth place. That was a good result from them. Hobbsy had a bit of a scare, but does indeed retain fifth. Tazio sixth. Ivaslov will come across the line for seventh. Maurice in eighth, still with his windscreen wipers on. Maybe he's trying to shift the air to the side of the car so it's more aerodynamic. That would perhaps make sense, as the two Porsches are still having a battle. So Maru and Real Scorpions, Maru in the yellow, Real Scorpions in the green. They're going to try and hang it around the outside. Oh, it's going to be a cutback, is it, from Real Scorpions? No, not quite enough alongside. I think it's just about going to be Maru taking ninth. It's going to be close. Less than a tenth in it. 69 thousandths of a second in the end. Maru ahead of Real Scorpions, 9th and 10th respectively. And it's going to be Colin Flake, the last of the finishers in the other McLaren. We'll be hoping to have a bit more pace once the season starts. But a fantastic win for Quad in the Lamborghini. Lamborghini reigning supreme here at Monza. Fantastic result by them. Started third on the grid, if you remember. Fantastic stuff, fantastic entertainment. Hope you've enjoyed that, because I certainly did. Of course, first time working for these guys. I think it's gone quite well for pre-season test. Oh, this is actually round one according to Rappi. Well, how come it says pre-season test and round one in the same lobby title? My apologies for that. So this actually did have championship implications. Here are your race results again then. So Quad will be taking maximum points here today. Top honours, first place by 5.5 seconds in the end from Rappi, the Pro, and Heisenberger. So that in terms of a team performance, it's the Bugattis that are doing the best at the moment. Leinard managing to come fourth for Ferrari. Hobbsy, good performance by them in the 650S. McLaren taking fifth. Tazio in the 4C. Perhaps not the 4C's strongest circuit with its more handling based nature. Nevertheless, sixth. Can be happy with that, beating out Ivaslov in another Ferrari. In seventh, Maurice eighth in another Huracan. Maru just ahead of Real Scorpions 9th and 10th, as we said, and Colin Flake in 11th. Rappi the Pro taking the fastest lap of the race. That was set lap 10, a 1 minute 57.011. So I believe that is the end of proceedings here at Monza. Not quite sure where round 2 will be at the moment, but be sure to stay tuned to the channel. If you enjoyed the stream, then be sure to leave a like on it, and subscribe to the channel if you want to keep up to date with more WRL events and such as the season continues here on IRC, the Italian racing channel. Round 2 is at Spa-Francorchamps. Thanks for that one, Reppy. So until then, I believe that pretty much concludes everything. So I've been Zokyo, your host here, and I will hope to see you sometime in the future. Until next time, folks, it's goodbye from us.